Hi, and welcome to our video tutorial for ISEF Form 1C, Regulated Research Institutional/Industrial Settings. This form is located on pages 35 and 36 of the ISEF guidelines. It should be noted that this form is meant for the supervising adult to fill out, not the student. If you have any questions about regulated research institutions, please refer to page 7 of the ISEF guidelines. If you have any questions regarding the roles and responsibilities of students and adults, please refer to pages 5 through 6 of the ISEF guidelines. We're going to begin by putting our student's name or names on the top line. Now, since our student was the only one in this project, it's just going to be his name. However, had he been working in a group, you would document all of the students' names at this time. Next up is the title of our project. Now, you'll notice that our student was working with vertebrate animals, and he was sure to check on pages 12 through 14 of the ISEF guidelines to ensure that he was complying with the rules before working with them. Moving on to number 1, did you or your proxy mentor or provide substantial guidance to the student researcher? If no, you'll still complete part 1A along with the box at the bottom of page 36. For instance, if the answer was no, then our supervising adult entered that Ferb conducted his research project while utilizing the institution's equipment. If yes, you'll complete questions 2 through 5. Number 2, is the student's research a subset of your ongoing research or work? Check yes or no. If the project is under a grant that needs to be acknowledged, then you'll list the grant here at this time. Number 3, describe the independence and creativity with which the student A, developed the hypothesis or engineering goals for this research project. For example, our student independently identified their hypothesis from research in similar studies. Part B, design the methodology for their research project. In this instance, Ferb designed his own procedure to test the hypothesis while following the scientific method. And lastly, in part C, analyzed or interpreted the data. Ferb worked with graduate students to analyze the data collected using the Institute's equipment, and then interpreted the data with the help of his mentor. On to the next page. At this point, you'll re-enter the student's name or names. Moving on to number 4, you'll detail the role the student played in conducting the research. Please be sure to differentiate between what the student observed and what the student actually did. Our student worked hands-on with graduate students to collect data. They then observed the graduate students performing their portion of the experiment and proceeded to record and analyze the data for further use. Afterwards, the student and mentor reviewed and interpreted the data together. Moving on to number 5, did the student or students work on the project as part of a group? If so, how many individuals were in the group and who were they? Our student Ferb worked with 4 graduate students alongside 2 faculty members who supervised the use of the institution's equipment and a mentor who provided assistance to the students afterwards. This brings us to our last portion of Form 1C. It should be noted that it is still the supervising adult who is filling out the form. We will need the supervising adult's printed name, signature, and title, along with a good way to contact them. We also need the name and address of the institution where the experiment was conducted and completed. Now, we would like to take this moment to draw special attention to the date signed, which must be after experimentation. For example, if you specified on ISEF Form 1A, down on page 32, that your experiment ended on January 1st, be sure that this date is after January 1st. Thank you for watching. Have fun and best of luck.